Project 2-3 covers several commands. One of them, tab complete. Less of a command and more of a help. Helps speed up typing so you don't have to type an entire file name or command. You can see it used in many CLI environments, including Windows PowerShell, Cisco's devices, Bash, and other systems. Control-C is also less of a command and more of a function of the computer. It stands for close or cancel what you've typed in. LS is short for list. It's used to list directories and files on the computer system. We used it in the last project. Adding a -L to LS will give you more information about the files and directories. There's also a capital -F that is used in this lab. It's useful for monochrome displays, so you can determine what type of files or directories you are looking at. More is a command that allows you to scroll through multiple pages of text. It's only one direction. It goes down. The less command, very similar to more, but it allows you to scroll up and down on the text. The pipe symbol underneath the backspace key. This allows you to pass information from one command to the next. It's very useful to type a command, use the pipe symbol, and less. The next command, file, followed by a file name, gives you more detailed information on what type of file you are looking at. The asterisk stands for 0 or more characters, useful when you're searching for something. Not mentioned in this lab is the question mark. It is similar to the asterisk, except it stands for exactly one character. Let's start up our Oracle virtual machine and practice. Click inside your Oracle virtual machine and use your Control-Alt-F5 to open a terminal window. Log in with root and pass1234 as the password. Once you log in, use the cd change directory command space / press enter. Now type cd space ro. We're going to attempt a tab complete. Hit tab once. What happened? It finished the spelling of the directory root. How many subdirectories under / begin with ro? Only one in this case. We don't want to hit enter at this time. We want to hit Control-C. If you did hit enter, you can type cd space / and enter to go back to the root directory. Type cd space b this time and press tab. Notice nothing happened. Two things: either there's nothing that starts with B, or there's multiple files that start with B. Type the letter I and hit tab. What happens? We finally got enough unique letters that it could determine what directory we were wanting. Press Control-C again. Now type cd space m. Press tab once. Nothing happens. Press tab one more time. If you have two directories or files that start with the same letter, and you press tab twice, it will list them on the screen. This is a great help for when you forget how to spell the complete name of a file or directory. Now type the letter E. Use tab once. Notice that once we got ME in there, It was different than the other directory, MNT, so it could determine media was what we wanted to go into. Go ahead and hit enter to change into the media directory. Notice the prompt changes to say we are in the media directory. Issuing the pwd command also shows that we are in the media directory. Let's try cd space /etc and press enter. Again, pwd to verify that you changed into the etc directory. Now let's type ls. We want to list what is in this directory. Press enter. Here we have 6 columns of directories and files. Directories are colored in blue, files are in gray, and something known as a symbolic link, a shortcut, is cyan in color. What is the most common file extension you see? We see lots of .conf, configuration files for the system. Type in ls space the pipe symbol. It's right below the backspace key. You have to hold the shift key down to get the pipe symbol. Use a space and type more. Press enter. More can scroll down one line at a time by using the enter key. So press enter a few times. Notice scrolling one line at a time. Try the space bar. Notice the space bar jumps page at a time. You can view the help on the more command by simply typing an H right now. It shows all of the options you can use with the more command. Once you've looked at the options, go ahead and hit Q to quit. Notice when we hit Q, it quit the more command completely and dropped us to a command line. Now we'll try ls space pipe symbol again space less. Once we enter the less command, use your up and down arrow keys. You can scroll up and down. You can also press enter. You can also use the space bar. You can use the page up and page down keys. So less does more than the more command. It does sound confusing. Again, you can hit H for help. As you see, there's much more help that you can do with the less command. Go ahead and hit Q to quit. Step 15 just has you move up and down. Once you're done, hit Q again to quit. Please remember, any command that you type that gives you more information than you can look at on the screen, you can always pipe, space, and use less so you can scroll up and down and read everything. Let's see where we are at. Step 17 wants us to type cd and enter. Where did we go? cd by itself takes us back to our home folder location. pwd should tell us we're in /root. We also see the tilde symbol that represents the home folder. Type ls and press enter. We see the contents of our home folder. Try ls space /etc. Now we see the contents of the Etsy folder. We did not have to go into the Etsy folder to view it. We just had to specify it after the ls command. It says type pwd again to verify you've not gone anywhere. You're still in your home folder, but we are able to look into another directory. Let's check out a subdirectory under the etc directory. ls space /etc/skel. Press enter. Do we see any files? No. But there are files in there. They're just hidden. Type ls space -a space and then the same directory, etc/skel. Hitting enter this time, we see that we have 3 files in one directory. Each one of them begins with a period. This is Unix and Linux's way of hiding files. We also see a dot and a double dot. What do they represent? Think back from Project 3-1. The single dot represents where we're at. The 2 dots represents a directory just above where we are at. Try ls -a capital F followed by the etc/skel directory again and press enter. What did the -F do when we added it? Notice at the end of the directories there's a /. If we did not have a color screen, it would be difficult to figure out if Mozilla or bashrc was a directory or file. The -F put a / between any directories. Let's check out some other folders. ls space /bin. And this is where a bunch of system utilities that are used by all users on the system are located. Press enter. Many files are in here. Let's try again, but add a -F and add a /* at the end. So we're looking at all files. What do we see? Several of them have an asterisk at the end. Several of them have an @ symbol at the end. The asterisk represents their executable scripts or programs. The @ symbol means they are shortcuts, and that command is residing in another folder. Now let's look at the boot directory. ls/boot. This is where the kernel resides. Let's do a long listing. ls-l/boot. How is this different? All the same files are still shown, but this time we have information on when they were created, the size, and we have 2 columns here, root and root. The first root is the user, the second root is the group. We also have listing of permissions on the far left. Let's try again with an alias. ll space /boot and press enter. It gives us the exact same output as ls-l. The book talks about using ll as a shortcut. It is not good to use or memorize aliases. Not all Linux distributions or Unix systems have ll configured as a shortcut. So what is a shortcut or alias? An alias is something that represents another command. So ll is read by the system, and then the computer changes that to ls-l. So because they are not always configured on all machines, try to avoid using aliases. Now let's try out the file command. Type file space /etc and press enter. What kind of file is etc? Well, it's a directory. Let's try again and actually look at a file. File space /etc /init tab. Press enter. What type of file is this? It's an ASCII text file. So plain text, something that you would create in a plain text editor like Notepad in Windows or the text editor in Oracle Linux. Let's check out the boot folder. File /boot /star. Let's look at all of the files. Press enter. Each of the files is listed, and then on the right side, a description of what type of file it is. We have ASCII configuration files, we have directories, we have compressed files. So if you need more information on what type of file you're looking at, you can use the file command. And this is where you want to take a screenshot of the entire Oracle Linux screen and submit for project 2-3. Continue playing with the ls and file command, and when you're done, type exit.